So now we'll start the session. So the topic is information theory, mutual information, channel capacity. So initially we'll see the block diagram of digital communication system, which begins with information source. We will be sending the message, which is the English symbol to coding part, where the um, coding takes place, that is English like representation to zeros and ones representation. So then further it follows to communication channel. So the entire segment is known as the transmitter part. So information source, coding, that is the encoder, then to communication channel. So followed by the receiver. So where the decoding takes place. So decoding, which refers to zeros and ones representation to English like representation. So then followed by destination part. So this is the block diagram of digital communication system. Now we'll move on to the next slide, which is information definition. So information definition, what is information definition? So the information I of xj is logarithm on the inverse of the probability of occurrence of an event p of xj. So the amount of information defined in terms of probability. I of xj is equal to log base 2 of 1 by p of xj. So where log base 2 of x is equal to log base 10 of x divided by log base 10 of 2. So this is with information definition. So next slide, which deals with entropy. Entropy, which refers to uncertainty, or it can be average information content per source symbol. So entropy is h or h of x. Entropy is h or h of x is the measure of the average information content per symbol. So it is usually given by the expression h is equal to summation I pi log base 2 1 by pi. So where pi are probability that an outcome will occur. The second term is log base 2 shows the amount of information an event provides is inversely proportional to its probability of occurring, which is also called as self information. So that is logarithm is with respect to base 2 or binary zeros and ones. So this is with entropy. Now moving on to the next slide. So here we'll see the problem. So a source is emitting symbols A, B, C with probabilities 0 0.6, 0 0.3, 0 0.1 respectively. Calculate the entropy h of x of the source. So here entropy is h of x, which is equal to summation pk log base 2 of 1 by pk, where k is equal to 1, 2, 3. So while substituting the values here in the formula, the given values 0 0.6, 0 0.3, 0 0.1, h of x is computed while substituting in the formula. So that is 0 0.6 log base 2 of 1 by 0 0.6 plus 0 0.3 log base 2 of 1 by 0 0.3 plus 0 0.1 log base 2 of 1 divided by 0 0.1. On simplification, entropy h of x is equal to 1.2950 bits per symbols. So this is with these answer h of x to calculate the entropy of h of x of the given source. So now we'll just move on to the next slide. So entropy based problem. So this is with calculation. So given an event has a 6 possible outcomes with probabilities 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 1 by 32, 1 by 32 again. Find entropy of H of the system. So here entropy H is equal to summation Pk log base 2 of 1 by Pk. So here after substituting the values, so you'll be getting like this. So after substituting the given values, H entropy, which is equal to 1 by 2 log base 2 of 2 plus 1 by 4 log base 2 of 4 plus 1 by 16 log base 2 of 16 plus 1 by 32 log base 2 of 32 plus 1 by 32 log base 2 of 32. So entropy H is calculated as 1.5625 bits per symbol. So this is to find the entropy of H of the given system. This is obtained by using the formula H is equal to summation Pk log base 2 of 1 by Pk. So this is entropy of H of the given system. So now we'll move on to the next slide. So the next problem is to calculate a source generates 3 messages with probabilities of 0.5, 0.25, 0.25. The source entropy H of X is given as option 1, that is H of X is equal to 2.5 bits per symbols. Then H of 2, option 2, H of X is equal to 1 bits per symbol. Then option 3, H of X is equal to 2 bits per symbol. So option 4 is H of X is equal to 1.5 bits per symbols. So we know how to calculate the source entropy H of X. So using which we can compute this H of X. So after substituting in the formula, you will be getting the answer of H of X. So answer will be 1.5 bits per symbol. So that is option 4. H of X is computed. Source entropy is H of X is computed as 1.5 bits per symbols. So moving on to the next slide. So entropy calculation. So problem, tossing a dice. Outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 respectively. So each occurs at probability 1.6. 1 divided by 6. So each occurs at probability 1 by 6. Each occurs at probability 1 by 6. To find entropy information provided by tossing a dice is H is equal to minus summation I is equal to 1 to 6 P of I log base 2 P of I, which is equal to summation minus summation I is equal to 1 to 6 P of I log base 2 P of I. So which is equal to summation minus summation I is equal to minus summation I is equal to 1 to 6, 1 by 6 log base 2 1 by 6, which is equal to log base 2 6. So the answer is 2.585 bits. So the answer is 2.585 bits. Log base 2 of x can be used to calculate this. Okay, we'll be getting the answer as 2.585 bits. So next problem. When is the average information delivered by a source of alphabet size to maximum? Average information is maximum when the two messages are equally likely. That is, P1 is equal to P2 is equal to 1 by 2. Then the maximum average information is given as H max is equal to 1 by 2 log base 2 2 plus 1 by 2 log base 2 2, which is equal to 1 bit per message. So 1 bit per message. So next is source coding theorem. Source coding theorem for a discrete memoryless source DMS states that as average code for any distortion, the source encoding scheme is greater than entropy of the source. L bar is greater than or equal to h of x. So where L bar is the average code word length and h of x is the entropy. According to the source coding theorem, h of x represents a fundamental limit on the average number of bits per source symbol necessary to represent a discrete memoryless source, in that it can be made as small as possible but not smaller than the entropy h of x. So next is source coding types. So source coding types: Shannon-Fano coding and Huffman coding. Shannon-Fano coding method. So an efficient code can be obtained by the following simple procedure known as Shannon-Fano algorithm. Shannon-Fano algorithm. List the source symbols in order of decreasing probability. Partition the set two sets that are as close to equiprobable as possible and assign 0 to the upper set and 1 to the lower set. Continue this process each time partitioning the sets with as nearly equal probabilities as possible until further partitioning is not possible. So the next one is with Huffman coding method. It is a coding process used to maximize the efficiency by assigning different number of binary digits to the messages according to their probability of occurrence. So it is also called as efficient coding or minimum redundancy code. So this is the procedure or algorithm. So arrange the source symbols or message in descending, that is decreasing order of their probabilities in first stage. Add lost two symbols into one symbol by assigning binary 0 and 1. Rearrange the symbols in descending order of probability again as in second stage. Again add two symbols into one symbol by assigning binary 0 and 1. The sum probability in the second stage is placed in the third stage after arranging the symbols in the descending order. So this process is repeated until no further repetition required. Binary digits can be obtained by tracing the path for each single symbols. Code word is obtained by reversing the trace path binary digits as least significant bit to most significant bit. So we need to calculate average length of code word L bar, entropy H of X, efficiency, redundancy, and variance. So mutual information. Mutual information. Mutual information. I of A comma B, which is equal to H of B minus H of B by A. Given A, what is B? So mutual information is the amount that the uncertainty in B or A is reduced when A or B is known. I of A comma B, which is equal to H of A plus H of B minus H of A comma B. So H of A by B, where given B, what is A? So given B, which is transmitted bits, what is A? That is received bits. Maximizing the mutual information is equivalent to minimizing the joint entropy. So advantage in using mutual information over joint entropy is it includes the individual inputs entropy. Mutual information properties, information rate. So mutual information I of X comma Y of a channel is defined by I of X comma Y, which is equal to H of X minus H of X by Y, bits per symbol, where here H of X is the entropy of source, H of X by Y conditional entropy of Y. Properties of mutual information. So properties of mutual information. So first, so I of X comma Y, which is equal to I of Y comma X. So I of X comma Y is greater than or equal to 0. So third one, so I of X comma Y, which is equal to H of Y minus H of Y by X. Fourth one, I of X comma Y, which is equal to H of X plus H of Y minus H of X comma Y. So we need to define information rate. If the time rate at which source X emits symbols is R symbols per second, the information rate R of the source is given by R is equal to RH of X. Bits per second, where H of X is equal to entropy. H of X comma Y is the joint entropy of source. R is equal to R of H of X. So this is the information rate. If the time rate at which source X emits symbols is R symbols per second, the information rate R of the source is given by R is equal to R into H of X bits per second, where H of X comma Y is the joint entropy of source. And H of X is entropy of source. So channel types. Memoryless channel. The probability of error is independent from one symbol to the next. Symmetric channel. Symmetric channel P of I by J, which is equal to P of J by I for all symbol values I and J. For example, probability of J given I, or probability of J transmitted and I received. So binary symmetric channel BSC. Additive white Gaussian noise AWGN channel. Burst error channel, compound or diffuse channel. So the next slide is channel capacity. Discrete memoryless channel. The channel capacity of a discrete memoryless channel is defined as the maximum of mutual information. So mutual information is the amount that the uncertainty in B is reduced when A is known. So I of X semicolon Y in any single use of the channel where the maximization is overall possible input probability distributions P of Xj on X is denoted as C is equal to max I of X semicolon Y, where P of Xj is input probability values and C measured in bits per channel use and bits per transmission. So I of X semicolon Y, where Y is dependent on X. So Y is the output and X is the input. So moving on to the next slide, channel capacity. Shannon's theorem. C is equal to B log base 2 into C is equal to B log base 2 1 plus signal to noise. C is the maximum capacity bits per second. B is channel bandwidth hertz. So signal to noise. So power ratio of the channel often expressed in decibels, which is equal to 10 log signal to noise. Signal to noise ratio. So capacity problem. Shannon's theorem. C is equal to B log base to 1 plus signal to noise ratio. So C maximum capacity bits per second, B channel bandwidth hertz, signal to noise ratio of channel often expressed in decibels, which is equal to 10 log signal to noise ratio. Example, bandwidth 3200 hertz, signal to noise ratio 1030 decibels. Calculate capacity. So 3200 into log base 2 1 plus 1000, which is equal to 31.895 kilobits per second. So next slide, what is the capacity of channel having infinite bandwidth? C is equal to B log base 2 1 plus P by N naught B bits per second. When Shannon's theorem of channel capacity is applied specifically to a channel in which the noise is Gaussian, it is known as Shannon-Hartley theorem. It is also called information capacity theorem. It is also called information capacity theorem. If bandwidth is infinity, C is equal to 1.44 into signal to noise, where signal to signal to noise ratio. So moving on to the next slide. Binary eraser channel. Binary eraser channel. Impairment like packet loss can be viewed as erasers. Data that are erased mean they are lost during transmission. So this is with binary eraser channel. So here we have 2 inputs and 3 outputs. We have 2 inputs and 3 outputs. 0 and 1. 0 and 1. So this is with 0, 1 eraser. P is the packet loss rate in this network. Moving on to the next slide, types of channels, binary symmetric channel BSC and binary erasure channel BEC. So the channel capacity of binary symmetric channel BSC, for BSC the channel capacity C is equal to 1 plus P log base 2 P plus 1 minus P log base 2 1 minus P. Channel capacity of a binary eraser channel BEC. For BEC, the channel capacity C is equal to 1 minus P. So now we'll start the session, channel capacity problem. The capacity of a binary symmetric channel with crossover probability 0.5 is to be found. So we are going to calculate. So capacity of channel is 1 minus h of p, where h of p is entropy function with crossover probability of 0.5. Now we compute h of p, which is equal to 1 by 2 log base 2 1 by 0.5 plus 1 by 2 log base 2 1 by 0.5, which is calculated as 1. Hence, capacity is equal to 1 minus 1, which is equal to 0. So this is how we calculate the capacity. Binary symmetric channel BSC with crossover probability 0.5. So answer is 0. Now we'll move on to the next problem. So here in this problem, the capacity of a band limited additive white Gaussian noise AWGN channel is given by C is equal to W log base 2 1 plus P by sigma square W bits per second, where W is the channel bandwidth, P is the average power received, and sigma square is the one-sided power spectral density of the AWGN. For fixed, P by sigma square is equal to 1000. The channel capacity in kilobits per second, right? With infinite bandwidth, W tends to infinity is approximately. So we have 4 options given here. A as 1.44, B which is given as 1.08, and C is 0.72, and D is 0.36. So we'll calculate this. So here P by sigma square, which is equal to SNR, signal to noise ratio. So here C is equal to limit W tends to infinity, omega log base to 1 plus P by sigma square omega, which is equal to limit omega tends to infinity, omega ln 1 plus P by sigma square omega by ln 2, which is equal to 1 by ln 2 limit omega tends to infinity ln 1 plus P by sigma square omega by P by sigma square omega, P by sigma square, which is equal to P by sigma square ln 2 ln base 2 limit omega tends to infinity ln 1 plus P by sigma square omega by P by sigma square omega. So using this formula, limit omega tends to infinity ln 1 plus x by x, which is equal to 1, which is equal to P by sigma square ln base 2, which is equal to ln base 2 e P by sigma square, where P by sigma square, which is equal to 1.44. So the answer is 1.44. So we'll be getting the answer as 1.44. So this kind of similar problems will be given in your GATE exams. So we'll just move on to the next problem. So here a binary random variable x takes the value of 1 with probability 1 by 3. X is input to a cascade of two independent identical binary symmetric channels, each with crossover probability 1 by 2. The outputs of BSC are the random variables y1 and y2 as shown in the figure. So the value of h of y1 plus h of y2 in bits. So x is the input and y is the output. So x is the input and y is the output. And P is equal to 1 by 3. So now we'll try to calculate. So let P is equal to 1 by 3 is the probability. So P x is equal to 2, which is equal to 1 by 3. P x is equal to 0 is equal to 2 by 3. To find h of y1, we need to know P y1 is equal to 0 and P y2 is equal to 1. P y1 is equal to 0, which is equal to P y1 is equal to 0 by x1 is equal to 0. Where this x which refers to input and this y refers to the output. Now P x1 is equal to 0 plus P y1 is equal to 0 by x1 is equal to 1. P x1 is equal to 1. So P y1 is equal to 0 is referred as the output probability. So which is equal to 1 by 2 into 1 by 3 plus 1 by 2 into 2 by 3, which is equal to 1 by 2. So now P y1 is equal to 1, which is equal to 1 by 2. So similarly, so Py1 is equal to 1, which is equal to 1 by 2. In similar manner, we got this. So now h of y1, which is equal to 1 by 2 log base 2 the whole square plus 1 by 2 so we will be calculating this h of y1 which is equal to 1 by 2 log base 2 2 plus 1 by 2 log base 2 2 which is equal to 1. Similarly, p of y2 is equal to 0 which is equal to 1 by 2 and p of y2 is equal to 1 which is equal to 1 by 2. So h of y2 which is equal to 1, h of y1 plus h of y2 is equal to 2 bits. So the answer is 2. Output of the cascade binary symmetric channels which is equal to 2. So h of y1 plus h of y2 is equal to 2 bits. So the output of cascade binary symmetric channel is 2 bits. So the next gate problem which we are going to solve is so consider the Z channel given in the figure. The input is 0 or 1 with equal probability. So input is taken as 0. The input is 0 or 1 with equal probability. So P of y is equal to 0 by x is equal to 0, which is equal to 1. So similarly, we can have P of y1 is equal to 1, x is P of y is equal to 1 by x is equal to 1, which is equal to 0.75. So if the output is 0, the probability that the input is also 0 equals 0.8. So we'll just calculate that. So given channel, so we have this input x is equal to 0, x is equal to 1. Then on the other end, y is equal to 0, y is equal to 1. Two inputs we had and two outputs we have. So we have to determine P of x is equal to 0 by y is equal to 0. So which is equal to P of y is equal to 0 by x is equal to 0. P x is equal to 0 by P y is equal to 0, which is equal to 1 into 1 by 2 by 1 into 1 by 2 plus 0.5 into plus 0.25 into 1 by 2, which is equal to 4 by 5 equal to 0.8. So the answer is 0.8. So capacity of a system. So now we'll just see the capacity of a system. The bit rate of a system increases with an increase in the number of signal levels to denote a symbol. A symbol can consist of a single bit or n bits. The number of signal levels equal to 2 to the power n. As the number of levels goes up, the spacing between the levels decreases, increasing the probability of an error occurring in the presence of transmission impairments. So the probability of error, we will be seeing it later. So the bit rate of system increases with an increase in number of signal levels to denote a symbol. A symbol which is equal to 1 bit or 2 bit. Which is depending on modulation. A symbol which is represented as 1 bit or 2 bit, it depends on modulation. So next we'll see this Nyquist theorem. So Nyquist gives the upper bound for a bitrate of a transmission system by calculating the bitrate directly from the number of bits in a symbol or signal level and the bandwidth of the system assuming 2 symbols per cycle and first harmonic. So Nyquist theorem states that for a noiseless channel, C is equal to 2b log base 2 to the power n. C, which is equal to capacity in bits per second, and B, bandwidth in hertz. So moving on to the next problem. So consider a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 3000 Hertz transmitting a signal with two signal levels. The maximum bitrate can be calculated as, so bitrate which is equal to 2 into 3000 plus, 2 into 3000 into log base to 2 which is equal to 6000 bits per second. So bitrate is calculated as 6000 bits per second. So log base 2 which is equal to 1. So 2 into 3000 into 1 which is equal to 3000 bits per second. So our answer is 6000 bits per second. Log base 2 which is equal to 1. So bit rate is 6000 bits per second. So moving on to the next problem. Consider the same noiseless channel transmitting a signal with 4 signal levels. For each level, send 2 bits. The maximum bitrate can be calculated as bitrate is equal to 2 into 3000 into log base to 4, which is equal to 12,000 bits per second. So this is log base, this log base 2, 4 can be written as log base 2 to the whole square. So which in turns 2 log 2 base to 2. So you can able to calculate that, and the bit rate is computed as 12,000 bits per second. So the maximum bit rate can be calculated using this. So moving on to the next problem. We need to send 265 kilobits per second over a noiseless channel with a bandwidth of 20 kilohertz. How many signal levels do we need? So we use this Nyquist formula. So 265 kilobits per second, which is written as 2,65,000, which is equal to 2 into 20,000 into log base to L. So that is 20 kilohertz, that is written as 20,000. So now log base to L, which is equal to 6.625, which is equal to L is equal to 2 to the power 6.625, which is written as 98.7 levels. Since this result is not a power of 2, we need to either increase the number of levels or to reduce the bit rate. If we have 128 levels, the bit rate is 280 kilobits per second. If we have 64 levels, the bit rate is 240 kilobits per second. So, revisiting Shannon's theorem. Shannon's theorem gives the capacity of a system in the presence of noise. C is equal to B log base to 1 plus SNR, signal to noise ratio. So SNR is a number, signal to noise ratio. Signal power by noise power is SNR. C is equal to B log base to 1 plus signal to noise ratio. So SNR is a number. So signal power by noise power is SNR. So moving on to the next problem. Consider an extremely noisy channel in which the value of signal to noise ratio is at most 0. Almost 0. For this channel, the capacity C is calculated as C is equal to B log base to 1 plus SNR, signal to noise ratio, which is equal to B log base to 1 plus 0, which is that is 0 is signal to noise ratio, which is equal to B log base to 1, which is equal to B into 0, which is equal to 0. So this means that the capacity of a channel is 0 regardless of the bandwidth. So in other words, we can also say we cannot receive any data through this channel. So the next problem, calculate the theoretical highest bit rate of a regular telephone line. A telephone line normally has a bandwidth of 3000. The signal to noise ratio is usually 3162. For this channel, the capacity is calculated as C is equal to B log base to 1 plus SNR, which is equal to 3000 log base to 1 plus SNR. So that is 3162, which is equal to 3000 log base to 3163, which is equal to 3000 into 11.62, which is equal to 34,860 bits per second. So the Nyquist theorem. So this is Nyquist gives the upper bound for a bit rate of a transmission system by calculating the bit rate directly from the number of bits in a symbol. So C is equal to 2B log base to 2 to the power n. C is equal to capacity in bits per second. B is equal to bandwidth in hertz. So this is the Nyquist theorem, which states that for a noiseless channel. So Nyquist theorem is very important. So you can also expect that in your exams. Similar kind of problems. So only this has been again repeated. So you can go through this. If you have any doubts also, you can. So the signal to noise ratio when given in decibels. Assume that SNR in decibel is equal to 36 and the channel bandwidth is 2 megahertz. The theoretical channel capacity can be calculated as follows. So this is the next problem which we are going to see. Signal to noise ratio in decibel, which is equal to 10 log base 10 signal to noise ratio. So now we take this anti-log. Signal to noise ratio is equal to 10 power of so we take signal to noise ratio, which is equal to 10 power of SNR in decibels by 10, which is equal to SNR is equal to 10 power of 3.6, which is equal to 3981. C is equal to B log base to 1 plus SNR, signal to noise ratio, which is equal to 2 into 10 to the power 6 log base to 3982, which is equal to 20 megasecond. So in this problem, the noise ratio is given in decibels, but SNR is a number. Hence, we take the anti-log. Next problem, for practical purpose, when the signal to noise ratio is very high, we can assume SNR plus 1 is almost the same as SNR. In these cases, the theoretical channel capacity can be simplified to is equal to B into SNR in decibels by 3. So calculating the theoretical capacity of the example. C is equal to 2 megahertz into 36 by 3, which is equal to 20 megabits. So we just calculated this one. It is a analysis problem only. Next problem, we have a channel with a 1 megahertz bandwidth. The signal to noise ratio for this channel is 63. What are the appropriate bit rate and signal level? So first we use the Shannon formula to find the upper limit. C is equal to B log base to 1 plus SNR. 10 to the power 6 log base to 1 plus 63 is equal to 10 to the power 6 log base to 64, which is equal to 6 megabits per second. So next problem. The Shannon's formula gives us 6. Yes. The continuation, the Shannon formula gives us 6 bits per second, megabits per second. The upper limit, for better performance, we choose something lower, 4 megabits per second, for example, using the Nyquist formula to find the number of signal levels. 4 megabits per second is equal to 2 into 1 megahertz into log base to L, which is equal to L is equal to 4.